Hello, ladies. Let's get ready. We're going to do sit and stew. Make one block. So what we're going to need is you're going to need your background fabric, which I have right here. You're going to need a 2x2 piece of Mylar, and we're going to get ready to hoop. So and the usual stuff that we're going to be using. So we're going to take our fabric and we're going to fold it right sides together to create a center fold. So just go ahead and just put a line right up the center. And then you're going to fold the bottom edge. We're going to do that 1-inch fold. Let me grab my hot ruler. And I'm going to swing it this way and just do our 1-inch fold. I'm just going to go ahead and crease it. Remember, we are, let me get that in view for you, aggressive finger pressers. Aggressive. Okay? And then go ahead and cut your stabilizer larger than the embroidery hoop, which I've done, and I'm going to hoop it. So it says to hoop your stabilizer only. This is just tear away. Okay. I need my hoop tightening tool. I've lost it, and I refuse to take another until I find it. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead. It says to load a neutral color. For me, neutral is going to be, I love to do gray as my neutral color. So let me go ahead and put that in. So I'm just going to thread her up with some gray. I have my design pulled up. I'm just going to go ahead and hit set. I'm going to select my 5x7 hoop. I was like picking the right size hoop. And I'm going to hit embroidery. And first thing we're going to do is that placement stitch. So let me grab my hoop. I have a white pre-wound bobbin preloaded. Whoop. Let me go ahead and slide this on. Have my gray in my upper. And we're going to stitch the background placement line. Okay, this is pre-folded. I'm just going to fold it again on that inch mark. I'm going to fold it in half this way. Your hoop is going to have a little line with a notch on it. So you're just going to line this up with the notch and on the line, and then go ahead and open it up. So we'll open it this way. And our center mark should be lined up. We'll fold this down, and I'm just going to put a piece of tape right down here to hold everything in place. And then there's going to be a tack down stitch. So let's go ahead and just stitch that out. Sorry, just trying to get my camera all set. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. I'm just going to kind of smooth the fabric down as it stitches. Make sure your hand's in front of the needle and not under it. Since I'm not spraying, I just want to make sure that my fabric lays nice and flat. So we just did this step right here. Let's see if it'll focus. Stitch the background tack down line and remove your tape. So go ahead and take off that piece of tape. And that was step 2. Step 3 says to change the bobbin to black And then we're going to stitch the candy corn flower stem detail stitch. Okay, so let's go ahead and slide this off. We're going to put a black bobbin in. And we are going to put black in our upper too. I have all my colors laid out and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and take out the gray that I had in there. Let's put in the black. This is step 3, and this is stitch the candy corn flower stem detail stitch. Go ahead and stitch that out. Change your bobbin back to white. Put the white in, and you're going to change your upper thread to white too. I got to tell you, I do most of my stitching on my 10 needle, but I do film on this because I feel like most people have a single needle. But I do love my 10 needle because I would just load it with my colors and there'd be no changing my thread. So now what we're going to do is we are on step 4. So we have changed our bobbin to white, and now we're going to stitch the candy corn flower mylar placement line. And then we're going to place our candy corn mylar covering the placement line. Okay, so we're going to lay this down, and I don't know, what do you think? Do we need tape? Okay, I'll put a little tape on here. You can't spray it, so I'll tape it. Okay, this is step 5. Step 5 is stitch the candy corn inner flower fill stitch. Now we're going to do step 6. Let's change our thread. Well, we'll let this finish. But step 6 is going to be the candy corn middle flower fill stitch. And we're going to do that in orange. So let's change our thread out to orange. And after it does this step, then we're going to do the outer flower fill, and that's going to be in yellow. So I'm going to grab my yellow. All right, take out your orange. And we're going to put in yellow. This is going to be the outer leaves of your candy corn flower. All right, we're going to put the black back in, and this is going to be the candy corn flower outline. Okay, we're going to remove the tape. So I'm going to go slide this back. Let's remove our tape. And it says to tear away your excess mylar. So I like to pull in towards my design, not away from it. And if you don't get it all, I wouldn't worry too much. And then you can also just get a pair of tweezers and try and pick away the rest of it. But I'm going to leave it. I think it looks great. So I'm going to slide this back on. We're going to stitch the fill, the center fill. This is step 9. And now we're going to stitch the tree fill and outline stitch. I think this is going to be the biggest part of our design. So this is going to take, we have 16 steps. This is step 10. And I think this will take the majority of our time. All right, now we need to stitch out the fairy light eyelet stitch. I'm just going to leave it in black and let that stitch out. All right, so that's going to be where the fairy lights are going to hang. The next step on the instructions is we're on step 12, stitch the chandelier detail stitch, and that's going to be in purple. So I'm going to take out my black and put in my purple. And after the purple is going to be the yellow again. There's going to be some lights on the chandelier. Now you're going to put in the yellow, and that's going to be for the lights on the chandelier. And then we're going to be putting the black back in. And the black is going to stitch out the spider, the bat, and the bench. And just hit start. It's going to do the bat. All right, and just hit start again, and it's going to stitch out the bench. How cute is that? So I'm going to heat up my iron. And let's go ahead and take it out and we're going to square it up. Go ahead and slide it out. Let's come over here. And I'm going to go ahead and, so the instructions say to remove the basting stitch and then you're going to remove the block from the hoop. So let me grab my handy dandy favorite seam ripper of all times. Okay. And I like to get it going. I just usually use my seam ripper and pull up on that stitch. Once I can pull the stitch up, let me see. Maybe I need more. Cut this. Okay, ready? Then you can just pull up. Cut that stitch underneath. All right, gonna unhoop it. Gonna tear away all that stabilizer. I'm not going to get every last little bit, but I'll get whatever's easy enough to take out. we're good. Get a little more out here. Okay, let's get a little best press, and we're going to spray from the back side. So let me go ahead and turn it like this. So I like to spray, so I'm going to get the back pretty wet. And I like to go all in one direction. Let me move that. And I really lean into it. Get my body weight. If you guys weren't here and I didn't have the camera in between us, I'd be like really bearing down on it. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good. Nice and flat. All right, I'm gonna grab my rotating mat. And let's read our instructions to make sure we trim it right. So it says right here, we are going to square the finished block to 6.5 by 8.5 with the tree and bench 1/4 inch above the inside bottom edge of ruler. All right, so let me grab my ruler and let me grab my rotary cutter. All right, so we want to be 1/4 inch. So the bottom of the tree, I'm going to move this like this so I can look down on it. Bottom of the tree and the bench. And line this up. I'm actually going to go, let's line up with bottom of the tree. Okay, I didn't want it too tilted. And now I want to look at how far I am from the flower to my, to the edge of the bench. I'm going to use a regular ruler for this. So I'm what, 3/4 inch and a little more than 3/4 inch. So a little, oh, they're both a little more than 3/4 inch. 7/8. We just need to scoot it over the tiniest bit. All right, let's go ahead and trim. So start on one side, press, lean in, rotate. I hold it just to make sure it doesn't scoot at all. If you don't have pop rulers and you are planning on doing a lot of Kimberbell, it's worth the investment. And we are done. And there's another ridiculously adorable square. All right, let's get ready to do the next one.